Explore identity and authentication in Microsoft 365. Think of identity as your name on an exclusive guest list. And authentication? Well, that's the moment you actually show your ID to the bouncer at the door.
At their core, these concepts answer two absolutely essential questions. Identity asks, who is this person, device, or service trying to access Microsoft 365? Authentication asks, how do we prove they are who they say they are? Now, if you're preparing for the AB 900 exam, mastering this foundational concept is your very first step. Literally every interaction with Microsoft 365, whether you're checking an email, joining a Teams meeting, or opening a SharePoint document, starts right here. Understanding this distinction is how you ensure that only the right people, on the right devices, under the exact right conditions, get to access your organization's resources.
So we just talked about that strict venue bouncer, right? Well, Microsoft Entra ID is that bouncer. And it's not just human users trying to get in. Machines and software applications have digital identities too. Entra ID verifies all of these. A successful authentication grants access to Microsoft 365 resources, while a failed one firmly denies it. Entra ID basically serves as the cloud-based identity and access management system, ensuring that only trusted entities ever get through the door.
Now you might be wondering, where do these identities actually come from? Let's compare the two environments you definitely need to know for your exam. Think of cloud-only identities as being born in the cloud. They are created and managed entirely within Microsoft Entra ID, with absolutely no dependency on local, on-premises infrastructure. On the other hand, hybrid identities are kind of like commuters moving in from the suburbs. They originate from an old-school on-premises Active Directory and take the train into the cloud, meaning they're synchronized to Microsoft Entra ID using tools like Microsoft Entra Connect Sync. Knowing the administrative differences between these two is absolutely critical for managing Microsoft 365 security.
Authentication sign-in methods. We are officially moving away from traditional passwords. Think of this shift like upgrading from a simple, easily copied metal key to a high-tech smart card.
Let's step through this ladder of passwordless methods because passwords can just be guessed or stolen too easily. First up, Microsoft Authenticator. This is a mobile app that shoots a push notification to your phone. You approve it with your fingerprint and boom, you're in, no password typed. Next, we have FIDO2 security keys. These are physical USB or NFC tokens. Imagine walking up to a public kiosk, inserting your USB key, tapping it, and securely logging in. Third, Windows Hello Biometrics. This uses facial recognition or a fingerprint scan built right into your device. And finally, Certificate-Based Authentication, or CBA, which uses digital certificates stored on smart cards, often paired with a PIN. The crucial takeaway here for Copilot admins is this: you've got to push for these phishing-resistant options because they drastically improve both your security and the user experience. Enhanced features and policies, because sometimes one lock just isn't enough. Imagine a bank vault that requires both a PIN code and a retinal scan to open. That multi-layered approach is exactly what Microsoft 365 offers, starting with multi-factor authentication, or MFA. MFA requires 2 or more forms of verification. Notice how it relies on a combination of 3 distinct things: something you know, like a password or PIN; something you have, like a trusted device, a phone, or a hardware token; and something you are, which means biometrics, like a fingerprint. As an AB 900 candidate, you must understand that enforcing MFA drastically reduces the risk of account compromise. Even if a password gets stolen, the attacker doesn't have your phone or your fingerprint, which keeps your Copilot deployment safe and secure. Topic: Identity protection. Let's look at how we enforce these security rules automatically. First, we have Self-Service Password Reset, or SSPR. If an employee forgets their password, they can just reset it themselves by verifying a code sent to their mobile device. This securely saves a massive amount of IT support time and money. Then we have Microsoft Entra Identity Protection. Let's walk through this process. A user tries to log in. Identity protection uses machine learning to analyze the risk. Maybe they're suddenly signing in from an unfamiliar country. It checks this context against your administrative risk policy, and the result might be automatically blocking the access or demanding an extra verification step. It's a totally automated, intelligent defense system.
Hybrid authentication methods. Think of this environment like a local branch office needing to verify a visitor's credentials with the global headquarters.
Topic: Password hash sync. When you have an on-premises Active Directory, but need to validate users in the cloud, the most common and recommended way to do this is password hash synchronization, or PHS. The process here is pretty straightforward. A user enters their credentials. What actually gets synced to Entra ID is just a cryptographic representation of the password, a hash, not the actual plain-text password itself. Validation happens entirely in the cloud. This means no on-premises server is involved during the actual sign-in process. It's incredibly simple to set up and highly resilient. If your local servers go down, no problem. Users can still log right into Microsoft 365.
Topic: pass-through authentication. Now, for organizations with incredibly strict compliance rules, we have pass-through authentication, or PTA. Notice how the process shifts here. The user signs in, and Entra ID places an encrypted request into a secure queue. An on-premise agent retrieves this, checks it against the local Active Directory in real time, and then sends the result back to Entra ID. So what's the massive difference? On-premises passwords are never stored in the cloud in any form. It's an absolute necessity for organizations dealing with strict regulatory compliance requirements.
Topic: Federation authentication. The third hybrid option is federation. Here, the organization delegates the sign-in entirely to an external provider, like Active Directory Federation Services, or ADFS. The user tries to sign in. They're immediately redirected to their company's on-premises ADFS server, they authenticate there, and a trusted token is issued back to Microsoft 365. This allows for highly customized sign-in pages. However, for your exam, make sure you note that Microsoft now heavily recommends PHS or PTA for most organizations, simply because federation requires much more infrastructure to maintain and is generally a lot more complex.
Single sign-on, or SSO. Once you prove who you are, you really shouldn't have to keep doing it every single time you open a new app. Think of SSO as an all-access VIP wristband at a music festival. You show your ID at the main gate once, get the wristband, and then you can walk into any VIP tent without having to dig for your ID again. Setting this up depends entirely on your environment. In a cloud-only setup, all identities live purely in Entra ID. Authentication and token issuance happen entirely in the cloud. It's a much faster deployment with no legacy systems to worry about, ideal for those cloud-native startups. But in a hybrid setup, companies use tools like Entra Connect Sync to bridge their local domain-joined workstations to the cloud. This means when an employee logs into their office computer in the morning, they're automatically authenticated to cloud services like Outlook and SharePoint without ever typing another password.
Topic: device-based SSO. Notice how SSO integrates directly with device management. If a company uses Microsoft Intune, a user can log into their laptop using Windows Hello Biometrics. That device instantly gets an SSO token. When they click on Teams or OneDrive for app access, the result is immediate, 0 password prompts. The key benefit here isn't just convenience, though. Because users authenticate less frequently, they suffer way less password fatigue, which drastically reduces the risk of them falling for those tricky phishing attempts.
So I'll leave you with this. What happens to your organization's sensitive data if just one weak password bypasses these identity defenses to access Copilot?